Hello and welcome to On the Way Moments, a podcast from St. Anthony on the Desert Episcopal Church here in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm Will Strong.
I'm Jill Kyler.
And we are your hosts of things that we find very interesting.
And we hope you do too.
And so we are so thankful that you have chosen to listen, to watch, to view us. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. So Jill,
yes,
it is, for those who are watching right now, it's February. February 8th, so we're on the 8th right now. And Jill, we are going to talk about something that is important and may have switched a little bit. So I'm going to let you take it away and tell us what we're talking about today.
Well, since it's the beginning of the year, we always like to do our resolutions. Mm-hmm. And here we are in February, and our resolution to get this podcast out on time. You know how resolutions go.
Exactly.
But the interesting thing is I just saw a Forbes health report that said New Year's resolutions are usually kind of forgotten after 3 months. So we are ahead of the game this year.
I would have thought like 3 weeks, to be honest.
So. Well, that's you and me.
Wow, 3 months, huh?
3 months, and then most people have just given up on their resolution. Oh. So I think that our discussion today about creating a better 2024 is just, we're right on time.
Yeah, we're reimagining 2024 already.
Yeah.
And it's February.
And I'm feeling good about this.
I am too, yes.
And another thing that I read was New Year's resolutions, the worst time of the year to try to put something new into effect is in the winter. Because just normally that's a time when you kind of withdraw.
You're hibernating.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And you don't have the energy, you're conserving energy. You don't have the energy to take on all these new ideas that you have. Mm-hmm. And that the springtime is really the best time to institute resolutions.
So we really are ahead of schedule.
We are so ahead of schedule. Sorry,
man. We're just on your way, on our way to make you have a better 24.
Yeah, but I think what we really want to talk about is that you approach goal setting for the best outcome. Mm. And that you not create avoidance goals, like not eating sugar or something like that. Avoidance goals works well with like stay away from your ex, but things that you really want to change, that's not a good way to go about it. That what you should do is create new habits that just automatically replace the old ones. Mm-hmm. So you don't dwell so much on the negative, but hit the positive.
I like it.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. I was thinking about, I'm going to use that word 8 times. That's my New Year's resolution. I have 7 more times
your word of the
for
year.
that word. Kind of reflecting on forgotten resolutions. You know, I think they're forgotten for many reasons. I think the new year starts, we think, you know, this is it, I'm going to do this. But just to your point of what you just mentioned was, it's cold. I want to be inside. I want to eat my soup. That's not flattering. It's like heavy soup. I'm trying to stay warm here. You know, I think everyone's just like, I need to, you know, hit the gym more and all this stuff. And you're like, well, that is very important. Mm-hmm. But I also think, you know, it's good to give yourself that grace. So for me, example, I have the privilege of coming on staff full time to St. Anthony.
Congratulations!
Thank you. At the beginning of this year, and I was set. I was like, okay, great. I usually get up early around 4:30, 5 o'clock. I was like, I'll do the Peloton, I'll do a workout, and then I'll take a shower and eat my breakfast, and I'll be on my way. Great in theory. Worked for about the first 2 weeks. I'm going to say 3. I'm going to give myself a little. And it was like, but by that time I was just tired. I mean, I would wake up, I'm like, wow, I'm not used to working totally of 40 hours a week, and my body, my body was adjusting, and there were some days I was just like, I'm tired, and I had to kind of refocus my goals of being like, one, being kind to myself. I think that's important for all of us. Goal setting or aside, I think just being kind and offering ourselves that grace. I had to reevaluate and reimagine what my goals were like, knowing that I probably would sleep in on a day I could sleep in a little extra, or if my body needed it. You have to listen to what your body needs.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
She used it, not me. And so we encourage you all to just kind of, why did they falter? It's not bad, because again, you give yourself that grace and that forgiveness of, well, that didn't go as the way I thought it would, which leads then into to kind of something that Jill was going to talk about cultivating resilience and persistence.
Yeah, and well, as you said, the main thing is stop being so hard on yourself. It's what you want to do is not set just a short-term goal. Well, those are helpful, but you're really looking at it for the distance. Usually, if you're going to set a resolution, it's something that you really want to change in your life. It's not so much, this is what I want to happen in the next 3 months.
Right.
Usually it's like longer term, I want to be fit, or I want to improve my spiritual life, or something like that. So you're in it for the long haul.
Right.
And there's going to be days when you succeed.
Exactly.
And the successes may be so small, but you've got to honor and celebrate every one of them. We're in the habit of, if it's not a huge win, we discount it because we don't think that it's good enough. And I think we just have to give ourselves, be a friend to ourselves.
Absolutely.
And not expect everything to be perfect, because hey, this is life, and it's not perfect. And one of the best things about it not being perfect is that's how you learn. If everything just went along swimmingly, you would never really know what you were doing to get it right. It would be like, I'm the luckiest person alive, and I don't know how this happened.
Oh, right, and you may not even notice that you're the luckiest person alive because everything's just been easy peasy for you.
Yeah. And when you hit those little speed bumps, I think that's when you have a time to take a pause, recalibrate, figure out, well, maybe this isn't the right road to get to my ultimate goal. And so I think that having challenges along the way is good because it gives you time to consider another way. So just while you're at it, just give yourself a break.
Right.
And we're all guilty of that.
Oh, for sure.
Guilty of that. We might have a dozen successes, but one challenge, and that's what we
remember that
that's what
the
we
most.
Put all our attention on. Oh, I ate that chocolate cake. And,
the whole cake.
Yeah, and oh, well, then there's that.
It can happen,
but
everyone.
it can happen, and it's delicious. But you just pick up the pieces and take off the next day.
Yeah.
So
I think you also mentioned too, you guys kind of had talked about this, about building a support system.
Oh yeah, that's so important.
Of not just you doing this, but also just that accountability as well.
Right, and you want to be around people who share your ideas about things. You don't want to be around people who are like, you're going to do what? Because those are the people you don't want to talk to.
And they're going to be the ones that can make you stumble, and you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't do.
You end up second guessing everything that you do, because either it's not the way they would do it, or it's not good enough. So you need a support system of someone who will encourage you and just be with you along the way. And that can be in a variety of forms. I mean, it can be a friend, just meeting over coffee, or text or whatever. It could be, support groups in the community with whatever you might need help with, or it could be small groups here in church.
Yep.
We have a Christian formation after worship in our parish hall, and we've sit at a multitude of tables, and it seems like every week, whatever the topic is, there's questions for the table. And, you end up sitting with people most of the time that, are people that you've sat with before, or someone that you know.
Right.
And it's really kind of nice to have that setting to be able to talk about things. And then we're very encouraging here at St. Anthony. And it's nice to have someone say, hey, good job on whatever. And we tend to discount the little things that we do that are a good job. And we need to learn to take that as a gift and say thank you. Nothing else needs to be said, just thank you,
it's so funny you mention that, because I'm one of those that people are like, oh, congrats, you did great. And I'm just like, oh, we don't know how to take compliments, I feel. I shouldn't speak for anybody. But when people are like, oh, you did this really well. And I'm like, well, I probably could have done. And I'm like, no, thank you. Thank you.
And then that way you can celebrate what you've done too.
Because it was good, and but we often talk about we're our own worst enemies and our own worst critics of, well, I should have done this, and this would have been better had this happened, and it's like, well, no, this did happen, and I was pretty great at it. So it's giving that self grace, and also acknowledging when somebody else acknowledges you is always a good thing.
It is, definitely. And then for people who really aren't into the group thing, you can just keep challenging yourself. And at different times during the year, you just stop and you say, what's working right now? And what are the highlights of what's working? Is this the direction I wanted to go in? Is this a new and different direction that's even better? And then decide where you're going from there, and decide what's not working and what's making you either feel worse or do worse. You just because it's a goal that you set at a certain time doesn't mean that goal should be in concrete.
Right.
Situations change, circumstances change, and you just need to be more aware and take different times to stop and decide, am I going in the right direction? Because it could be that you're not. And
it's okay to pivot.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, that's what life is all about. Yeah.
And then just reevaluate, why are you doing something? And if you're struggling to do the why, it could be the why isn't right for you.
Right. Correct.
Because it can't be an uphill battle the whole time. It has to be a challenge. Of course, it's a change that you're trying to make. But if you're trying to make a change that is not appropriate and is not working into your life, all you're going to do is get very frustrated. And don't do that.
No, don't do that.
No, don't do that.
And also thinking about the why is or even just the goals, you can only focus on yourself. So I can't be like, man, I wish Jill would not heat up fish in the oven. She doesn't. But if that was my goal in life, that doesn't seem to work. Nor should it, because that's not my goal.
No.
So focusing, we've talked about this ourselves, but also asking ourselves the why and why we're doing it.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then as I think about that, the why, it kind of makes me remember last year when we were doing resolutions, and we decided on a one-word resolution. And do you remember
yours?
Yes,
yours was joy.
Yeah, what was yours?
Patience.
Oh yeah, how'd that work out?
Pretty good, actually. It's funny because I was thinking about that this year now and trying to figure out what my word is for the year, and the word that keeps coming is peace for me this year. So my patience was was paid off. Maybe that's a better word.
Patient
and now I'm still working with patience, but now trying to figure out what peace looks like in my life. And so, do you have a word this year?
No, I'm kind of hanging out with joy.
I think that's a good.
And having a resolution or a goal like joy, then everything else kind of works towards it, and so I'm okay with that.
That's awesome.
I'm really this year trying to get stronger. So
Jill's been lifting weights.
I've been lifting weights.
You can't tell. She actually has. It's pretty
more
awesome.
than a fork.
That's
to
right,
my
fork
mouth.
to mouth. Nope.
No, I've been lifting weights.
Yep, getting stronger.
And so that kind of feeds into my joy because I really want to build up my muscles.
No. It's funny you mentioned that because like last year, aside from, and I think patience fell into this, was I took 2 parts of my life was internal health and mental health, and that was kind of like, okay, I'm going to focus on this. And so I did my doctor's appointments religiously. I did my blood work. I've gotten everything kind of right where it needs to be. But it took time. So is that patience? And then also I started seeing a therapist with my mental health stuff, and it's been another patient process, but it's been very beneficial. And so like things like that. So like my goal this year, aside from peace, is how, maybe it's more of a physical goal. Maybe it's more of but it's mine, and I'm, I can't think of the right word, but I'm being nice to myself.
Isn't that a nice?
Because I can't remember what it is, but it's pretty great. But you're absolutely right. Yours was to get strong. Mine is, we're focusing. And there's this thing, I read a study once that said, we talk about an accountability and support system is also to kind of keep those goals a little close to you. Like share it with a few, but don't put out like, I'm gonna be a runner. And then all of a sudden people are like, great, you got this. And all of a sudden you've reached that goal in your mind because somebody is congratulating you. Like you did it. And it's like, well, no, I haven't even hit the pavement yet.
Shoes.
Right, exactly. So it's one of those things where it's like, keep them close, but also keep your circle of stuff. And so it's just really, there's a lot of information.
There is. But I think, the bottom line is accept who you are, accept where you are. And of course we want to keep getting better.
For sure. Yeah.
But just don't be so hard on yourself and keep your goals realistic and, get to your goals in small steps, in small bites, and along the way, give yourself a little pat on the back.
Right.
Way to go.
And help others too along the way. Hey, you're doing this. That's awesome. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just don't put a lot of stress on yourself. If you're trying to do more, you got to give something up. It's just the way it is.
Right.
The one thing we'll never have enough of is time, and you really need to devote the time to the things that mean the most to you. So that's what I have to say about all this.
I like that. That's what we should call this podcast, that's what I have to say. But we are so thankful that you have joined us. Did you have anything else, Jill?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then you want to cover.
That was all I had to say.
That's it. And so we are so thankful again that you have joined us. Join us during the season of Lent coming up. And embrace here at St. Anthony what we're doing and all the love that we have. And we'd love to see you here, and just again, comment, like, subscribe. Tell us in the comments what you're working towards, and we'll definitely cheer you on. So
absolutely,
If we need us, we'll put like balloons, and I don't know. I don't know if you can do that.
No,
and balloons and.
I'm an old cheerleader, so I think I might have my.
There we go. Just our pom poms. So we might put that on Instagram or Facebook. So be on the lookout, friends. So thank you so much, and have a blessed day.
See you.